nicely and sharply defined. Whereas if you tried that with the XPG, it's a little bit more blurry, it's not quite as focused. But when you bring the XPG back a little bit, it just gives a lovely spread and flood of light. Some of my original sets are about 3 years old, and they still pump out a lovely white, but I used to have a lupine HID before, and obviously the bulb and ballast went in the end, which is kind of what drove me on to making my own in the end. And they flicker as well, don't they? When they're on bouncy stuff, you tend to notice there's a bit of a flickering, which is a little bit off-putting. But still a good, powerful light though. And then it also depends on how fast you ride as well, isn't it?
You can even try splashing with your fingers, which is quite fun, like this. Push them down with your hands.
Well, you're going to be best. Helmet on a spot is best for you. It just lets you spot the corners that you're coming into. It sounds like you're riding probably quite fast. And we sort of like ride at night the same pace as we ride during the day. And the XBE on the crash helmet has just helped my riding. I was like, I don't know how some of my mates managed to do it. I think everyone's eyes are different as well. And I was just off the pace completely. Couldn't keep up. And I'm just thinking, well, they just be more daring than me or something. I don't know what it is, but with my combination that I use now, I'm just like, I'm right back on the pace again now, sort of nudging the old back wheels and tyre. But of course the only thing is now they know that, they're running my lights as well, so I use a G on the bar and an E, the XPE on the crash helmet. And if I'm going out, because I go out and do demos as well, and just to be overly stupid, I run 2 XPGs on the bar and 2 XPEs on the crash helmet, and they refer it to a jumbo jet landing. But I'll do that just for demos to show that you can have that much light. And I must admit, if I'm going serious downhilling with my mates, I will run that combination because I just, they've got full suspension bikes, I only run a little hardtail, so I'm really wringing the neck out of my bike sort of thing, so I need the light to keep up. But yeah, if you want a smile from ear to ear and you're ever close, whereabouts are you anyway? Oh, Derbyshire, yeah. Well, I mean, we go up and down the country doing, lots of races and things like that, so I think we're going to be putting that next year on the Facebook and Twitter page where we're going to be. So we can always stop over a night or something like that, and people willing to try them out and just see, or if you wanted to come down, you're more than welcome to come down and try. I would just, if I really was you, I would just hang fire for a couple of weeks actually, because I've got 10 prototypes. People know I've got these prototypes in prominent, so I've got a couple of them that these are ones that are going to go out to manufacture. We've got a couple of little tweaks to do on the program and the board. It's purely just for the LED indication of when it comes on and when it goes off. I'm just not quite happy with the settings we've got on that. But if you hang fire a couple of weeks, I would run an XPG off of the new driver board. And also looking at have you got lipos or lithium ion? You've got lipos, have you? Okay, well then you'll run quite happy on either head unit, because my original head unit doesn't like lithium ion batteries that much. It pulls so much power that the lipo is the only thing that can keep up with it. So you'd have to do a tweak to it if you had a lithium ion, but if you've got lipos you're fine. I think I would, to be quite honest, I would wait a couple of weeks. Let me give you an e-book now in a couple of weeks' time. But having said that, if you've got a combination set, if you've got those hits on your bar, why not just go for the XPE on a spot which is the one I would recommend anyway. And then you've got a good combination there. You've got a pair of reasonable hits on your bar, and you've got the helmet on, sort of like we're using joysticks and things like that, and then all of a sudden the joystick becomes worthless putting on your crash helmet because it just doesn't do anything. But a little bit of light coming off of the bars is going to, complement, what you're doing. It depends how much money you've got as well. If you've got the money to do the whole thing and you want the whole lot, then it's fine. Some people, well, I was saying that most of the people are on a budget and can only think about doing one or the other. So, and a lot of emails I get, people are thinking my hits are just about to crash out. I'm going to pass them off on eBay just before they're worthless, sort of thing. I get quite a lot of those, so maybe the hits are coming to the end of their days, and people just look at the looms outfit, but it's not about the looms outfit, it's about the lens. It's the LED and the lens is the most critical part to get right. And I struggled when I first started this. We were machining our own lenses, couldn't get it right, and I decided I shelved it then because I just wasn't happy with the light that was coming out, and it was equal to anybody else's, but I just thought, well, if it's not better, who's going to buy it? It's got to be better. And then we got to the point of where we are now, and it clearly is a remarkable difference. And I think also the lens manufacturers now are understanding LED technology better. And and the crossover seems to be getting to the point now where it's much more workable. If you've got an XPG on your bar, you don't want that to be competing with your helmet light, because the XPE, the helmet light, the spot of that lens goes over the top of the XPG, so they don't flood in together. So you've got the extra extent of the spot beam going over the top of the flood. So most people's just merge into one light beam pattern, which is totally sort of like not what you want. It gives you a bit more light in that area, admittedly, but you really want to extend your spot and your helmet light wants to be in front of your handlebar light. And when you're looking up and looking down the trail at the bits that you're coming into, you want to be able to look and spot all the corners in entries, exits and everything like that, and what's coming up. And that's what's working. That's what people are loving about this system. That the G is sitting really nicely on the bar, and the E is that the spot helmet is penetrating with a good quality of light over the top of it. So you've got the best of everything, because you've got more time to react to what you're coming up against. Shout in a couple of weeks and you can try it. There's nothing lost in you trying it, and if you don't like it, you can send it back, and we'll just re-chip it, and then it'll be a standard XPG as what everybody else will. There are some colours. I'm not at work at the minute, but what I'll do is I'm on holiday at the minute actually. I can't remember. Sorry, there's never a rush. It's always work, but there's a few colours there that are left. I think there's the lime green. I think there's a chrome one, and a light bit of red. What colour was you after? The gunmetal? Well, that's not a problem actually. There's loads of those there. So they're just waiting to be built up with a new batch the drivers in. So there's loads of there's none actually assembled and ready, but it wouldn't take much just to come over for you. Okay. Alright then. Okay, take care mate. Cheers, bye.